Okay, welcome back. We're looking at our CyberRange again, and we're going to talk a little bit about a vulnerability assessment slash penetration test report or reports, and then we'll jump into Kali and right into the CyberRange and get started, collect some information, give you an idea of how to start this hopefully fun project. So right now we're looking at the network diagram, which is going to be updated a little bit more later today. But you can see that we've got Kali from the VPN, which we saw in an earlier video, or we can do from our own machine to Kali inside the network and run our assessment from there. Two different options, and you can use both options depending on what exactly you need. And the network is actually 172.32.0/24, which will be updated. So for this project, we have to write a little report. So I'm just going to take a look at a couple of templates. And here's a very, very short template. So don't think you can make your report this short, but here's an idea of how yours could look. This is a vulnerability assessment report. So notice right away we've got a table of contents. So this is very important. Have an executive summary, which we'll get to, some results, what did we find out, and then give a risk assessment. You know, what's the most vulnerable to the least vulnerable? And then, of course, we need some recommendations and some solutions. So if we jump to the executive summary, it's definitely going to be longer than this one here, but it does give you an idea. So you can explain what the purpose is, what you scanned, and generally some of the big things that you figured out. And then throw some scan results. So this might be your port scans and services that you found. And then what did you find from a security perspective? What were the issues? And what were you possibly not able to scan that was supposed to be a part of the assessment? And we've got a risk assessment here. Very important that we show everything critical and high level in nature, all those problems. And then we should list them and explain how we would, what a description of it and how we would solve it. And we'd probably want to mark, which IP address we found these vulnerabilities in. And so we continue with more. And there's, you can go a little bit deeper with a few of the vulnerabilities you find. And very, very important is, some recommendations on how to remediate, how to fix these problems, and maybe a conclusion at the bottom here. Now, again, this is a very, very simple template. You're obviously going to expand on all these parts. And I'll post these as examples as well. And another one that's been around for a long time is a pen test report from Offensive Security. So again, you can integrate this to some degree. So you'll see again, there's an executive summary, some of the issues, what they attacked, what they compromised, conclusions with recommendations, and then some risk ratings. And then some more extreme details down here, which is great. So again, this is a bit larger of an executive summary. I expect yours to look a little bit more like this. So a summary of all the results. So again, the biggest issues you're going to throw in here. And of course, don't forget when you find, a vulnerability, put a screenshot in for some of the bigger ones. Show, some of the steps you might have had to take beyond an nmap scan to actually get information from a machine or actually exploit the machine. A diagram is useful as well to show how you did something, or maybe just a diagram of how you've mapped out the network. So there's an example of using Dirbuster. So if you did use Dirbuster, absolutely, you could throw it in there, which is great. Anyway, I'm not going to go through this whole report, but I will post it for you. Let's jump over to our CyberRange. First thing is check, yes, we are connected to the VPN, perfect. And when you're doing this, make a new directory just for this CyberRange, call it whatever you like. And let's do this, oops. So we have an IP address on the VPN, perfect. And we have to remember that we're going to be scanning the 172. Let's go back to our diagram. 172.3132.0/16. All right. Sorry, it should be /24. We're going to fix that. All right, so let's see. We should be connected. So let's run nmap. But let's take a quick look at some of the options we have for nmap. Go to the very top here. So right here, we'll start with something simple, ping scan. So nmap. And again, I'll just talk a little bit more about the diagram, why that scan's going on. You can ignore the VPN. I'm gonna have this diagram updated, as I said, but you do not need to scan the VPN. It's not supposed to be vulnerable. It's not supposed to be a part of the pen test. Here are two of the harder machines, so I suspect most of us should start with the easier machines. I'm also going to post a couple of the very easiest, and that might be a great place for you to start. There's also a machine that currently is not, it itself is not easily compromised, but it is used to compromise another machine, and I'll make a note of that as well. All right, so the whole CyberRange is not up. I've only put up a few machines right now. So this one here is the VPN itself. So we're going to skip that one. So I've got 5 other machines, and now I don't remember all of them yet. So let's just do one at a time. We'll do a quick scan. Actually, what we can do is just do a default scan to start. And all right, so we got, okay, great. So this is the first one I wanted to take a look at. It's one of the easiest ones, or it should be one of the easiest ones. I just did a default scan, so let's go a little bit further here. I'm gonna type nmap again and just show you something. So we can save our information in different formats. So we bring that back. We're gonna add SV, so we're gonna get check banners, figure out exactly what these services are, and also we can even go by IP address. We don't have a name yet. What did I say? I think it's 19. And remember, if things are getting stuck or slow or you're not really sure, you can always push enter and see what kind of results you're getting here, how far into it is. So I'm at 40%, that's not bad. So I think this machine should be one of the easiest for us to compromise. It's something we saw in class already. Of course, while one scan is going, you could always start scanning a second machine or doing a full port scan of all 65,000 ports, which I could show in a few minutes. I'm going to actually stop this video and restart a little further in after the scan is over.